All right, buckle up for a deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
That might just make you question some of your own beliefs.
I like it.
We're going deep into a piece that really digs into this idea of how easy it is for our emotions, even when we're talking about a good cause,
Right.
to kind of nudge us toward supporting ideas that are, well, maybe a little bit authoritarian.
Authoritarian.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think what's so fascinating about this piece is it uses almost like a thought experiment.
Oh, interesting.
You know, a what-if scenario to really show us how we react instinctively.
I see.
And how those reactions can sometimes put us on a path we didn't expect.
Yeah.
A path towards authoritarianism.
Okay, so set the scene for us.
Okay.
What is this scenario we're talking about?
Imagine this, right?
Right.
A former president signs an executive order that makes all child sexual abuse a federal crime, automatically punishable by death.
Whoa, that's
heavy, right?
Heavy stuff.
And that's intentional. The author's not saying this happened.
Right.
It's a tool to make us think.
I could see how that would definitely get a reaction from people.
Yeah.
I mean, on the surface, protecting children, that sounds like something everyone would agree on.
Totally.
But is that where the danger is?
That's exactly where the article says the danger lies.
Okay.
It argues that even if we agree with the goal, right?
Protecting kids.
Protecting children, supporting these kind of authoritarian measures.
To get there.
Sets a dangerous precedent.
Because
history's full of examples where policies that sound good, that restrict freedom in one area, gradually lead to more and more restrictions.
So almost like a slippery slope kind of thing.
Exactly, a slippery slope.
Okay.
Like, think about the Patriot Act after 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
Many people were willing to accept more surveillance.
Right.
In the name of security.
Yeah, because everybody was scared.
Exactly. But did those measures actually make us safer?
Right.
In the long run?
Yeah.
And at what cost to our privacy and our civil liberties?
That's a really good point.
You know, it's easy to get caught up in the emotion of the moment.
Absolutely.
And lose sight of the bigger picture.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's exactly how a lot of tyrants through history have risen to power.
Oh, wow.
They exploit fear.
Yeah.
They promise protection.
It makes sense.
And they use these really emotionally charged issues.
Oh, I see.
To manipulate public opinion.
Smart.
Like, look at Hitler's rise to power in Germany.
Oh, okay.
He used the fear of communism and economic instability to justify his increasingly authoritarian actions.
Wow, that's a chilling comparison.
It is.
So are you saying that anytime a leader proposes something that sounds good?
Not necessarily. It's about being aware of the potential for manipulation.
I see.
And thinking critically about the solutions being offered. In this case, this executive order raises some serious questions about the balance of power in our government. Because the president doesn't just have the authority to create new federal crimes.
Oh, so there's specifics.
Dollar versus job.
Visits, Yeah. So this would clash with that whole
checks and balances.
Checks and balances thing, right?
Exactly.
Can you break that down for folks who
maybe
aren't political science experts?
Checks and balances basically means that each branch of government, the president, Congress, and the courts, has certain powers and can limit the powers of the other branches.
So they all keep each other in check.
Exactly. They keep each other in check. So no one person or group has too much control.
That makes a lot of sense.
So in this scenario, Congress would need to pass a law.
Not just the president.
Not just the president.
Doing an executive order.
Right.
Got it.
It's like a system of safeguards
I like that.
to prevent abuse of power.
Safe first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the article goes on to argue that this hypothetical order would also violate due process.
Due process. Now, what is that?
Which guarantees fair legal procedures before someone can be punished. So imposing the death penalty without a trial would clearly violate that, right?
So even if the goal is something we all agree with.
Right.
Like protecting children.
Protecting children,
The method of getting there can't just trample over basics
You can't just trample on those fundamental rights. And this connects back to the idea of questioning authority. We can't just blindly accept something.
Because it feels good.
Because it feels right emotionally. We have to think about the principles and the potential consequences.
Even if it seems
simple.
Or on the surface.
This isn't just about some theoretical executive order.
It's bigger than that. It's about how easily we can be swayed.
Exactly.
Even when it's something we support.
Or cause we support.
Yeah.
The article really wants us to consider this. If we're willing to accept authoritarian measures in one area, even for a good reason, where do we draw the line?
That's a tough question.
It is a tough question.
But an important one.
What
other freedoms might we be willing to sacrifice?
Exactly.
That's pretty heavy.
It is.
So what tools do we have to make sure we're not just reacting emotionally, but actually thinking critically.
That's where the discussion of specific manipulation tactics comes in.
Oh,
and we'll delve into those right after this part of the deep dive.
Alrighty.
Awesome. You know, this whole scenario really gets at that tension between our gut reactions and those principles that are supposed to guide a free society.
Right.
It's easy to go, oh, yeah, I support that.
Because it feels good.
Yeah, because it feels good. But does it actually line up with limited government and individual liberty?
You know what?
Yeah.
That's what's been bothering me about this.
Okay.
With child abuse, of course, we want to protect kids.
Of course.
But reading this article.
Yeah.
Is that desire clouding my judgment here?
Well, that's the thing about emotional manipulation. It can make us vulnerable to solutions that sound amazing.
Yeah.
But they might have consequences we haven't thought about.
Okay.
The article spends some time on executive orders because a lot of people think they're like
magic wand.
Yeah, like a president can just wave a wand and change the law.
Everything's different.
Exactly. So it's way more complicated than that.
More complicated.
Executive orders are usually pretty limited.
Okay.
They deal with how money is spent.
Within existing law.
Yeah, within existing law, not creating brand new laws.
Okay, so that makes me think about this whole executive order scenario.
Right.
If presidents can't just do that.
Yeah.
It's this whole thing about how easily we believe things.
That's a great point.
Okay.
The article really emphasizes being informed citizens.
Oh, okay.
Not just passively consuming information.
So not just
taking in whatever.
Yeah.
We need to be questioning.
Okay.
Digging deeper, thinking for ourselves.
Don't just take things at face value.
Exactly.
Research. Come to your own conclusion.
It's about taking ownership.
I like that.
Your own understanding.
Yeah. That actually makes me feel kind of empowered.
It should.
You know?
It should.
That I can figure things out for myself.
And this brings us back to our deep dive.
Okay.
How easily we can be swayed to accept authoritarian ideas.
Even for good causes.
Even for good causes.
The part that really stood out to me was that bit about foreign interference.
Oh, right.
Saying that if we let our own government overstep, it sets a precedent that other countries, maybe not so well-intentioned, could use against us.
That's a powerful analogy.
Isn't it?
Think about it.
Yeah.
If another country came in saying, we know what's best for you, and started imposing their laws.
Yeah. We'd be furious.
We'd be outraged.
But are we as quick to see that?
That's the question.
When it's our own government.
When it's our own government.
Like we have a blind spot.
It is.
We want to believe the best. But that can make us naive.
Exactly. That's why those core principles are so important.
Okay.
You know, the belief in individual liberty and limited government, those are like guardrails.
Okay, yeah.
To help us make decisions.
When things get emotional.
When things get emotional.
Yeah.
So we're making decisions based on reason.
Not
just on how we feel.
Reaction.
Exactly.
I like that, the guardrail analogy.
Yeah.
So it's not about being cold or unfeeling. It's about having a framework.
Yeah.
That protects our freedom.
Yeah, that protects our freedom in the long run.
Long run, okay.
And you know what? The article doesn't just point out the problem.
It offers solutions.
It offers some guidance.
Oh, I love action with advice.
Me too.
What does it say?
First, be skeptical.
Okay.
Don't automatically trust information.
Even if it's from
someone you usually trust.
Like a news source you like.
Exactly.
Or a politician.
You agree with? Question their motives.
Ooh, that's hard.
You agree with question their motives.
Ooh, that's hard.
It can be hard.
All right, what else?
Consider other points of view.
Okay.
And look for evidence.
So basically,
back up what they're saying.
Fact check everything.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But being skeptical doesn't mean being closed-minded.
Okay.
It's about being curious.
Okay.
And challenging assumptions.
Even your own?
Even your own assumptions.
That's hard, isn't it?
It is.
We all have our own biases.
We do.
Things we believe without even realizing it.
Absolutely, but being aware of them is the first step to overcoming them. And the article also suggests something that can be tough these days.
What's that?
Talk to people who disagree with you.
Oh, okay.
Listening to their reasoning can help you refine your own thinking.
I get that.
Yeah.
But it feels like everyone's so divided these days.
It does.
How do you have a productive conversation
when
people are so entrenched in their own views?
It's a huge challenge, but essential for a healthy democracy. We need to be able to move beyond these echo chambers and engage in respectful dialogue.
So it's not about winning.
It's not about winning. It's about understanding and finding common ground.
And even if you don't agree, at least you've learned something.
Exactly. You've broadened your understanding.
Okay, so we've talked about emotional manipulation, critical thinking, but how do we know if we're being manipulated?
That's a fantastic question.
Are there like warning signs?
There are some classic tactics that manipulators use.
Let's hear it.
recognizing them is key to resisting their influence.
All right, tell me more. So give us the rundown.
Okay, so one of the big ones is fear-mongering.
Fear-mongering.
Manipulators love to exaggerate threats,
Yeah.
play on our anxieties, create the sense of urgency.
So we panic.
Exactly.
And just agree to anything.
They want to pressure us into accepting their solutions.
Okay, can you give me an example?
You see this all the time with headlines.
Okay.
Like, is your child's safety at risk?
Oh, yeah.
Or this one thing could destroy your freedom.
I've seen those.
Right. They get your attention.
They do get my attention.
They're tapping into that instinct.
Into that thing.
Yeah, to protect ourselves and our family.
So they're making us...
They're bypassing our rational minds.
Act without thinking.
And appealing straight to our emotions.
Sneaky.
It is sneaky. And another common one is oversimplification.
Oversimplification, okay.
They take these complex issues.
Yeah.
And present them as black and white.
Oh, interesting.
No nuance, no alternative perspective.
So you're either with them or against them.
Exactly. You're either with them or against them. They want you to think there's only one right answer.
And it's theirs.
And it's theirs.
So it's like that urgency thing again.
It is.
We have to act now.
We have to act now, and this is the only way.
Right. And if you disagree...
If you disagree, you're the enemy.
You're a bad person.
Exactly.
Ooh, okay.
And that leads into another tactic, appealing to our sense of righteousness.
Righteousness, what do you mean?
They frame things in moral terms.
Okay.
They're the good guys.
Right.
And anyone who disagrees is bad.
Evil, corrupt.
Evil, corrupt, exactly.
Oh, I see that online all the time.
All the time, right.
It's like if you don't agree 100%.
Yeah, you're a terrible person.
You're the worst.
Makes it impossible to have a conversation.
It really does.
It's a strategy to shut down debate.
Oh, wow.
And critical thinking. And it's important to remember.
Yeah.
Even well-intentioned people can fall for this stuff.
Oh, interesting.
We all want to believe we're on the right side.
Of course we want to be the good guys.
Right. Fighting for good.
But that can blind if we're not careful.
If we're not careful.
Okay, so knowing all this,
yeah.
How do we protect ourselves?
Well, awareness is the first step.
Okay.
These tactics now.
Yep.
You'll start to see them everywhere.
In the news.
In the news and advertising.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, even in your personal life.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But just knowing isn't enough.
Okay.
We need to develop that critical thinking.
So what does that look like, practically speaking?
It starts with questioning everything.
Everything.
Don't just accept information.
Even if it's from someone.
Even if it's someone you trust.
I usually trust, yeah.
Ask yourself, who's saying this? Oh. What's their motivation?
Motivation.
What evidence do they have?
To back it up.
To back up their claims.
Okay.
What about those times when something just feels off?
Oh, yeah.
You can't quite explain it.
Yeah.
But it feels wrong.
Should you trust that feeling?
Absolutely. Trust your gut.
Okay.
If something feels off,
don't ignore it.
Don't ignore it. Dig deeper. Do some research.
See if you can figure out
what's causing that unease.
Don't ignore those internal alarm bells.
Exactly. Okay. And remember, critical thinking is a skill.
You can get better at it.
You can get better at it. The more you practice questioning, analyzing,
the better you get.
The better you'll get at spotting manipulation.
So it's like building a mental muscle.
Exactly, like building a mental muscle.
Okay.
It takes work.
Yeah.
To get stronger.
But the benefits are worth it.
The benefits are worth it.
Okay. So bringing it all back.
Yeah.
What have we learned today?
I think the big takeaway is our emotions are powerful.
Absolutely.
But they can be used against us. We need to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And we need to develop those critical thinking skills.
To protect ourselves.
To protect ourselves from manipulation.
So be skeptical, question everything.
Exactly.
Don't let your emotions rule your head. Especially for causes we care about.
Especially for causes we care about. Critical thinking isn't about being cynical or negative.
It's about being informed.
It's about being informed, engaged.
Empowered.
Empowered to make good decisions.
Decisions based on facts.
Based on reason and evidence.
Not just our gut reaction.
Not just how we feel.
It's about being active participants.
Exactly.
In our lives and in our world.
I like that.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought from the article. If we accept authoritarian measures in one area, even for a cause we support, where do we draw the line? What other freedoms might be at risk?
That's a good one.
Keep those critical thinking skills sharp and let us know what you discover.